What's happening, everybody? My name is Harrison, and this is going to be an Unreal Engine 4 C++ tutorial on DrawDebugHelpers. Draw and debug helpers in the scene are definitely very helpful for us to visualize what's going on. Let's go ahead and look at the final product. Again, you never have to watch the videos. There should be a GitHub link in the comments that should just give you the code. Alright, so this is going to be our final product. So we have spheres, squares, circles, and planes, all just being drawn from the DrawDebug Helpers. So let's go ahead and make it. Let's get out of that. I'm going to delete the test one, or at least delete from the scene. Let's go ahead and create a new C++ class. It's going to be a new actor. I'm going to call it my Debug Draw Helpers. And create that class. You typically use DrawDebugHelpers for line traces and overlaps and just kind of visualize the invisible things that might happen in code, or in your game rather. Alright, so it just created our two files. It opened up my IDE of choice. Right now I'm using Visual Code. In the helpers class, I also have the notes right to the side of me, so I can just hopefully mitigate mistakes. Let's go ahead and create a bunch of locations. These are just kind of things that we'll use out if we want to kind of change the location of them, but they're just kind of things, not too important, but they'll just help us out visualize what we're making. View property, edit everywhere, or edit anywhere rather. We're also going to put it in a category called location, so everything will be in the same location or the same category in our actors detail panel. We're going to call it, it's going to be an F vector, and it's going to be location 1. Let's go ahead and do that like 5 times. So I'm just going to copy and paste it. Change the name so they're just appropriately. We might not need the 6. I don't think I'm using the 6. Let's get rid of that. We have some other things we want to make. Not all debug helpers, not all drawing functions take the same vector. We also want a box, so let's go ahead and make a box. Looks like I spelled the rest of them wrong, so let me clear that up. Property instead. I could have just highlighted them all, but alright, this slow way works too. Edit anywhere, we're still going to put it in the same category. Call that locations. It's going to be an F box. That's going to help us when we draw a box and give it the parameters that it needs. Then we also need a transform. Let me just copy this. A transform takes in more parameters. It takes in not just the location, but it'll be the location, scale, and rotation. Transform, call that my transform. Okay, so these are going to be all very simple variables that we use in our CPP file. So let's go ahead and jump over there. Save that. I'm going to close out some old tabs I have. Alright, so now let's jump into the CPP file. The first thing we want to do, we do want to include the debug helpers. Without that, we won't be able to draw any, we won't be able to draw any debug lines to the screen. I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. DrawDebugHelpers.h. So now we can use the power of that. Everything we do in this example will be done in the BeginPlay function, so as soon as we push play, we'll see the things drawn to the screen. But first, I think we want to set our variables in the init function, where we set our default values. So I'll just do it real quick. I played around it with the numbers enough just to kind of get a good starting point, but again, you can use whatever numbers you want. Let's copy and paste everything down and speed it up. Now what are the values? Negative 600, 600. 600. Negative 300, 600. Negative 400, 600. Let's do, we gotta set my box. We gotta set parameters for our box that we're gonna make. It'll be a simple box, so it'll just be like 200 by 200. So it takes a min and a max parameter, so the min will just be 0, 0, 0, and then it'll grow out from there to be kind of 200 by 200. That'll be a simple box. And I also want to set the transform, or transform variable. It'll be my transform dot set location. I just did this like seconds ago, so it's just an F vector, and I think we want to make it at 0, I think 500, 600, but we can edit it later. It doesn't really matter. So now we're getting into the BeginPlay function. Again, all our location and boxes, those are just kind of parameters you can always change at any time. The BeginPlay function, let's go ahead and draw something to the screen. We can draw a point to the screen by going draw debug point. We do get world. Every actor has a get world function built in, so you can always inherit from that. We want the location. Go ahead and use location 1. 200, I believe it's the point size. We're going to set the F color. It will be an RGB color. I have some numbers written down. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's like a little purple. I'm really not sure. It's just RGB. I set it to true. That means it'll always be there. It won't go away after it's drawn. So let's save. Let's compile it. Let's see if it works. Okay. Let's see what happens. Alright, got a typo in the draw debug. My fault. Recompile, see if it works. Let's drag it in. I'm going to add a billboard component just so I can kind of have the function to grab it, or the ability to grab it rather. So I don't lose it. And there you go. There's the point. It's kind of 200. It's always facing us. I mean, it might be relative because it seems like it grows with you. There it is. So let's move on. That one. Go back to the code. What's our next one? So our next one's a sphere. The sphere is a fun one. It's usually, you kind of use it always on overlaps if you kind of want to know if your player is overlapping a certain radius area. Should I just scroll all the way down to sphere? Draw debug sphere. Again, get world. Not that. That's going to be location 2. I think I'm setting the size to 200, and then I want 26 quadrants to kind of slice it up. We'll set the F color to something. I'm not sure what I did. 181.00. Again, it's just another RGB. We want it to never go away, so we set this to true. And I'm not sure what these next ones are. I really should look, but those are some more parameters. And 2, I believe the trailing 2 will be the width of the line that you're drawing. So let's go ahead and save that. I'm going to compile it, see what happens. Let's push play, and then you have this guy. So you have a red sphere. And let's go ahead and make some changes. Like, let's change this to 20. Let's change this to 100 and kind of see how it looks. I think there will be a lot more quadrants and it'll be a lot thicker. I haven't done this, so it might just look like a big ball of mess. So yeah, it's just a big ball because I kind of overrode everything. Let's kind of scale that back real quick. Let's go to 50. Instead of this, let's go to 8. Let's see. You know what? Why don't we just increase this a bunch by like 600 and just make like a huge sphere. Compile. Push play. And now you just have a really big sphere. Lines are thicker. There's more quadrants, and you know. Let's move on. What else do we have? We can draw some circles. Draw a debug circle. Get worlds. Should be location 3, I believe. I guess the location. In my code, when I was playing around with it, this is location 4. For whatever reason, I mean, it's not important, but I think when I was just kind of placing them in the world, it's just how it lined up, and it'll line up with the GitHub account better. 250. We're gonna make it black. That color. True. -1, 0, and 10. Let's see how that looks. There it goes, and then we have that circle right there. That's pretty cool. What's next? Draw debug box, or let's do solid box rather. Draw debug solid box. What location are we at here? We're at, okay. So we're drawing the box, right? So we defined the box right up here, and we already gave it a min-max. So go my box. What color we're gonna call it? We're gonna color it a blue. 20, 20, 100, 240. And where are we going to place it? We're going to use it using the transform function. So again, not all the functions take the same parameters. Like some will take vectors to place it in the world, like location 2 and 1. Those are vectors, but a solid box will take a transform. And set this to true so it doesn't go away. Again, this is being played on the BeginPlay method. So when we push play, they're drawn, and then we don't want them to go away. I don't think I compiled, or yeah, I push play instead of compile. Shoot, where did I mess up? Get worlds. It's not a method. Yeah. Push play. And so we have the solid box right there. What's next? Let's do the draw debug box. So instead of being a solid box, it'll just be a open cube, which again you'll probably use. It's good for overlaps, kind of if your character is within the set parameters to, you know, maybe trigger a light switch or pick up an object. F vector, what is it? Oh, what am I doing? Oh, it does take another parameter. Right here, I believe we're setting the scale of it. I believe it's going out to be like 100 by 100 box. And then we set the color of it after that. So we're setting it at this location, we're setting the size of it. and then we're gonna set the color. This is a built-in color by Unreal, and we'll just call it purple. There's like purple, magenta, orange, red, a bunch of others. True, -1, 0, and 10. I believe -1 and 0 are just kind of default values, and I'm just kind of putting them there as placeholders so I can get to the width of the line parameter. Let's save. Let's see how it appears. Let's push play. I got some lag on my end, so now we have a purple box. Let's change these to 500 and see what happens. Can you kind of set in the parameters so you can make like a long rectangle and or shorter, bigger box and whatever parameters you want. So now we have like a huge cube that's just whatever, right? All right, what's another debug function that might help us out? We got 3 more. DrawDebug Line. I'll just start copying and pasting so we can move on. Pretty sure it's mostly it takes the same parameters. DrawDebug lines are a little different. They do need to go to a starting point and an ending point. So sometimes it would be like if you shot a gun or something, you would want it to stop at the first accurate hit or something. But we're going to start it at location 2 and end it at location 3. We're going to color it emerald. Again, a built-in UE color. That should be it. Let's say compile and see what happens. And so we have that emerald line. It's starting at location 1, or location 2 rather, and going to location 3. I'd have to check exactly what those vectors are, but you can always change it, and you can change it inside the editor as well. Because we made it, since we made this actor editable in the U properties edit anywhere, we can now go into the location editor and just change them to whatever we see fit. All right, after a draw debug line, we want to go draw debug directional error, directional arrow, get world. Oh geez, what's this one? So instead of using parameters, let's just I believe in this example, we're just going to hard code these in just for fun, just to see that there's different ways to do the same thing. This is the starting point, and then we also need an ending point for it. It's going to be 120 Unreal units long. We're going to color it magenta, a built-in UE color. Set it to true so it doesn't go away, and then set some defaults. I will make it 5 Unreal units thick. And while we're here, let's just finish it up. Let's draw a crosshairs. Draw debug crosshairs. Draw debug crosshairs. Again, that's going to be get world. We're going to set its location. It'll just be the tallest thing on the screen, or highest thing we draw. 500F. We'll color it white. True 0. Alright, let's save that, push play, and see what happens. And we got some errors. F color, illegal use of this type of an expression. That's on line 43. There we go. I forgot the colon. Let's compile again. Void DrawDebug crosshairs cannot convert. Cannot convert const rotator argument 3 from float. Again, it's just a typo. So we got the what I miss. Yeah. There's another F rotator that I forgot. You do have to set the rotator. F rotator, yeah. And we're just gonna set that to 000, just kind of the default. Now compile. And more errors. God damn. Syntax error. I'm missing something. Trailing comma. That might be it. I think that's it. Push play. Let me get out of the F1 to get my mouse while I push play. Shift F1. And now let's see what's here. So we have all our boxes. We got our crosshair up there. We have our magenta arrow. You can see it starts there, and then there's a little arrow tick right there. We got our lines, we got our planes, we got our points, and I think we're good to go. That was a long video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.